There's a big risk in these kind of projects, in a project where you try to do real teams user adoption. That is that most of these projects are seen as an IT project. And to us as Xylos, it's very important to add departments like HR, learning and development into that project as well, because we have to have a human approach to that transition. So let me guide you through the pillars of Xylos, the things that are really, really important to us. And the first is that human-to-human approach. It's really only feasible to have a good project when the focus is on the people that will have to work with that hardware and software. Another thing is that we have only a tailored solution. We don't do one size fits all at our learning digital department. We tailor our services until they fit you like a glove. The goal isn't the user that uses Office 365. In fact, the goal is an employee that is more productive, that is efficient and more pleased with the new ways of working. So it's very important to discover which groups there are to be defined in your organization and to have a tailored approach for each and one of these specific groups. As Christophe was mentioning before, there's a whole different approach to blue collars than there is, before, for example, to information workers that have a whole different approach to all the different bunch of needs that they have for the day-to-day work. So what we do here at Xylos is we analyze the user base, and we make sure that our communication and our training content and our coaching is tailored to specific groups within your organization. And very important, Matthias Fontana was already discussing about that. There's a famous saying, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Now you have to prove it. You have to measure the adoption of the hardware and software that you invested in. That data can be found within Office 365. We have own reports that can assist you with creating the analysis that you need. And that data can be used on several moments during your project. It could be in the beginning phase where you can define the target groups before a change. So you can make an analysis of, okay, which people are using Teams already, where is there some resistance, and which group could benefit from some quick wins that you can hand over to them. Also, during the follow-up of the adoption strategy, it could be really interesting to look inside that data and to see, okay, where is Teams being picked up? Where are there teams that are not being used anymore? A specific group, a specific team started, but they don't use it anymore. And also afterwards. So when the whole transition project is over, when you think, okay, now I realized that user adoption that I was focusing on, use that data to prove it, to make sure that all the stakeholders in the project can see where the benefits were made. Voilà. We have 5 pillars to guide you through that user adoption process. So let me discuss each and one of them. First of all, that's change and adoption. Hashtag not for me. You know that it's coming, and you don't know the benefits of that change. So that's where the resistance will be popping up. So it's very important at the starting phase of a project to have a change architect guide you. They will create workshops where you define, okay, what is the scope of this change and what are we installing? We are installing Teams for now. How will it? How do we make sure the coming out is tailored to specific? So that's something that is typically done in that first pillar that we have in the change and adoption. I'll discuss the deliverables later on in this session, so I can give you an overview of what is being delivered by each phase. So once you know which change there is, once you know that Teams is being rolled out, you have to be taught on how to use it. I was looking forward to see all that equipment of Christophe. The headset, you have to show me that later on. I'm really interested. It could be interesting. I as well have a Corona coupe, so I could benefit from that one as well. So all of that, but also the meeting room equipment. It's not because you put that in a room that people understand how they can work with it. So that's training that you need. You have to learn everybody within the organization how to deal with that. So also there, it's very important to have tailored training. Some groups, they would prefer webinars, where they can just have like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of training, while others, they still prefer classroom training. There's nothing bad about classroom training. It has been working for years, so why would it all of a sudden stop working? So that is something that we also offer. But some might prefer, for example, e-learning. That could be interesting as well. Basically, what you do want is to have them gather all that knowledge and all those skills that they need to have those great meetings. Training is something that is done on based on a predefined set of material. So basically, what the trainer will do, they will prepare the session, and they will have examples. They will guide you through all the options. But then it's not because you learn something on a theoretical base that you're able to do that afterwards, after that session. And that's when our digital coach pops in. You want to use the stuff like a pro, you want to see how you can work with that material. That's why the digital coach is there. So we organize one-on-one sessions with a coach, or maybe your team wants to have a session with a digital coach as well, where the digital coach will then check in your team, what are your needs? For example, in collaboration, maybe a team needs planner, maybe another team is more, it can be helped with project, MS Project, for example. So that's typically something that a digital coach will guide you through. After all, Teams is a platform that gives you all the applications that you might want to use for communication and collaboration, but each team basically has to decide for themselves how they will be using it and what they will be using. And that is something that can't be offered in a generic way. You have to do that in a tailored session by a digital coach, if it's up to us. All right, the next phase is, all right, those training sessions and these digital coach sessions, they're mostly organized within business hours. But what about the rest? What if I'm working with them? If I'm working on a pivot table at 11 p.m. in the evening, and I need to know, okay, how do I get that extra column in that pivot table? Or on Teams, for example, how do I create a private channel? Now that is something that we can help you with Oase. Oase is a very nice, it's a brilliant tool. It's an online platform that you can have available via the website on your desktop or your smart device, but it can also be embedded in Office applications with a nice little add-in. It will tell you, okay, maybe you need this or that video. You just click on the video, it brings you, and not as in YouTube where you have to watch a video of 30 minutes. No, in Oase you have like a tailored, again, there it is. I keep on talking about tailored services. A tailored video, 2 minutes, and will explain you just what you need. And it's available 24 hours 7, of course. And not only for your work, you can even use it to help your kids if necessary. Voila. And then the last pillar, last but not least, is, okay, once you've gone through all the training, once you went through the digital coaching and you have been searching some questions on Oase, you still have to be triggered, because Office 365, and for sure Teams, because it's a big chunk of Office 365, it changes all the time. So you have to be continuously triggered to see what could be beneficial for you. So in our team, basically that's something that Tom van Veld does, what he just did previously in the session, was just to give you some insight into the latest developments within Teams. And this is something that we can offer as well by organizing Inspire sessions. We do that, very short sessions where we just demo all the things that might be beneficial to you. And here also the gamification comes in. I think I'm really glad that we still have an audience in these kind of webinars, because webinars are organized all the times, and we can see a little bit of a webinar fatigue everywhere in every organization. So maybe you want to learn in a different way. But spoiler alert, I won't tell you too much, because Niels is going to tell you a lot about that just after the break. So in the end, let me go through this slide again. So we have our 5 pillars, but what can you expect for each pillar as deliverables? So the first, the change and adoption will organize Envision workshops, where they will see for your organization how to deal with that Teams project, and they will create a change and adoption strategy. In training, we can offer webinars. We have online trainings. It can be classroom training. So again, it's a diversified approach that will be the best approach as we understand it. Digital coaching to assist you, to inspire you, to advise you, and to train you. And then we have the online 24/7 platform that is Oase. And at the end, we have a gamification where we have the escape room app that will be demoed to you shortly, and the Inspire sessions and demos that we organize. So I hope this was useful to you, to give you an insight in how we as Xylos organize user adoption, and what we think that is really important for that.